So apparently, in 2012 and 2013, the Obama administration commissioned, essentially, multiple CIA studies to look back on the past history of the CIA of running guns to insurgencies across the world during its 67-year history. Angola, Cuba, Nicaragua, Afghanistan, Somalia, probably many other places that we're not aware of. The review is still classified. However, apparently there's been some leaks.
Wonder why.
The studies were commissioned by President Obama when he was debating as to whether or not we should fund any rebel factions amongst the Syrian resistance to Assad. The CIA concluded that many past attempts by the agency to arm foreign forces covertly had a minimal impact on the long-term outcome of a conflict. They were even less effective, in other words, not having even a minimal positive outcome, when the militias fought without any direct American support on the ground. In April 2013, however, the president authorized the CIA to arm rebels at a base in Jordan, and then, of course, more recently, to arm rebels at a base in Saudi Arabia, but only to vetted rebels. One former senior administration official who participated in the debate and spoke anonymously because he's discussing a classified report said one of the things Obama wanted to know was, did this ever work? The CIA report said it was pretty dour in its conclusions. The CIA review, according to several former American officials familiar with its conclusions, found that the agency's aid to insurgencies had generally failed in instances when no Americans worked on the ground with foreign forces in conflict zones, as is the administration's plan for arming Syrian rebels. One exception, and this is my favorite paragraph, the report found, was when the CIA helped arm and train Mujahideen rebels fighting Soviet troops in Afghanistan during the 1980s, an operation that slowly bled the Soviet war effort and led to a full military withdrawal in 1989.
It did lead to that.
It did, in fact.
There's other things.
That covert war was successful without CIA officers in Afghanistan, the report found, largely because there were Pakistani intelligence officers working with the rebels in Afghanistan. I would put an asterisk after that paragraph. And next to that asterisk at the bottom of the page, I would put, and bin Laden, and never-ending war, and frankly, ISIS. But the story does continue, and it does say, but the Afghan-Soviet war was also seen as a cautionary tale. This funding...
The report ends with, bottom line,
Whoops.
Worth another try.
Yes. Let's try this one more time. Of course, we know that these Pakistani, essentially their version of the CIA intelligence officers who were there on the ground getting this funding also spent a lot of that money on madrasas in an attempt to send Taliban fighters to Kashmir, who also, some of them also ended up going the other direction and heading towards Afghanistan. So we know the rest of that story. What's not too surprising about this report is that, or I should say, there's a couple of things that I take from this. One is, despite the existence of this report, it will never, ever be used to prevent us from arming insurgencies again, or did it in this instance. And two, the reason why we know about this report is because this is the Obama administration saying to Leon Panetta and Hillary Clinton, F yourselves.
Definitely. The politics of it are so clear.
Yes.
I mean,
Now, of course, there's
and
nothing
yeah.
about the politics in it in this document,
Oh, no,
except for a
Right.
mention. Except for a mention that Panetta and Clinton have criticized the Obama administration here. I mean, so you see, this story is just a huge CYA, cover your ass, as opposed to the CIA. And it's also nothing that we're ever going to see because it cannot really enter into any policy considerations or debate in the future. In 2006, the CIA set up a gun-running operation to arm a group of Somali warlords who united under the Washington-friendly name Alliance for the Restoration of Peace and Counterterrorism. That effort backfired, strengthening the Islamist fighters that the CIA had intervened to defeat. Nice little coda. I would love to hear some politicians talk about this. And they may hear about it now, but really, really just as a way of providing cover for the Obama administration's not doing this earlier with the Syrian rebels. But we shouldn't be doing it now. It's not going to lead to anything except for... I guess my fourth asterisk would be the report did find that it was effective in causing the deaths of tens of thousands of innocent civilians and scarring countries permanently, creating years and decades and generations of dysfunction. Now on to more fun stuff.